Welcome back to another episode of Ultras 11. I'm Joe.
And I'm Alex.
Before I bring up our topics, I would just like to say to you guys, remember, it's Christmas, it's Hanukkah, it's the holiday season.
Best time of the year.
Basically what I'm trying to say, besides happy holidays, is follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X/Twitter, whatever you guys want to call it. Formerly known as Twitter. I still call it Twitter, I'm not going to lie to you. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Be sure to like our videos, of course. Be sure to favorite us on whatever podcast streaming service you use. Turn on post notifications. Mm-hmm. If we hit a certain amount, I'm going to get Al over here to do an ASMR segment.
I really got big into ASMR as of recently, so maybe I might do some little bit of...
yeah, dude. You should hear
how that was in your ears right now,
Al when we play FIFA or anything like that. His ASMR content, it sounds like I'm being put to bed. You know, he'll just ever so passionate. Hey guys, welcome. And it's just like, wow.
I'm like mukbang Maxwell.
Yeah, dude. It's like hearing Lionel Richie for the first time. It's crazy.
Maybe the fans might get a preview of that. Maybe.
I hope.
We'll see. But hey, it's up to them.
Yeah. On that note, hey Al.
Hey Joe, how's it going, man? It's always good to be back here.
Yeah.
Always feels good to be at the table.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my invite to go to the Christmas market with you guys. But whatever.
Not with me, not with you guys.
No, with you.
We're doing this alone, Joe. Me and you.
I wish, man. I wish
Just
on Wednesday.
Me and you.
I wish on Wednesday Al says, hey buddy, be ready in 10. Be fantastic. But I digress. Let's not talk about
boots.
Let's not talk about me being the lone wolf here.
Let's just jump right into
let's just jump into
this week's episode.
Last week, our episode, we did something about the Serie A. We did a preview, rest of the season preview or review, whatever you want to call it.
Winter chat preview.
Yeah, it didn't come out last week. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. It's all sorted out now, so you guys will actually get a double header. You'll get 2 epis.
2 epis in 1 week, back to back,
and
like
not
Drake.
EpiPens. Not EpiPens.
No, not EpiPens.
Yeah, no.
You guys are getting 2 episodes this week, so it's a little bit, hey, we're sorry about last week, but you're getting blessed 2 days in a row.
Yes.
So you're welcome.
And hopefully by Thursday you see a little sneak peek of one of the things me and Al have been working on silently. Like Lil Wayne, Real G's moving silence like lasagna.
You gotta put those post notifications on, man. You gotta keep an eye out.
You don't know what's going on here. I don't even know what's going on actually, but I digress.
I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
We talked about Serie A last week, how it's shaping up. Mm-hmm. This week we're going to talk
the big dogs.
About the bigger dogs over here. We're going to talk about the Premier League. From 8th place to first place. Mike Tyson now. From 8th place to first place, it's only an 11-point difference. Now, okay, that sounds like a lot, but given how the season's going and how, let's get real, the Prem loves a good story, that really doesn't mean jack shit. 11 points could be dropped just like that.
How many points was Arsenal ahead last year?
Yeah, like it to me, that means nothing now with this much to play.
That right there it's just massive, and that's why this race this year has just been amazing.
Been it's honestly been more entertaining.
Tottenham was first, and then they lose 3 games, and now they're in 5th.
Yeah, it's true. And that's
absolutely
and that's the thing that's crazy to me. It's just I feel like it's wide open.
Except for Chelsea, probably.
We don't talk about Chelsea now. We can't. I don't want to talk about them. I feel bad beating up a dead horse already. So my question, Al, is out of that top 8, we could even extend it to top 9. I just feel like top 8 is more realistic given consistency.
Yeah, and West Ham.
Yeah. I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say that part. But yes, West Ham. Given that top 8, are there any outsiders from 6th to 8th or whatever in general? Do you see them contending to finish in a top 4 spot? Like Aston Villa being in 3rd?
Yeah, it's insane.
Do you see that even happening? End of the year, do you think we'll see them in Champions League type of thing?
I mean, I Joe, it's kind of like last year with Newcastle, There was always that question, are they going to finish top 4? Are they going to finish top 4? And they end up finishing top 4 and making Champions League. No one really knows. And I think Villa's kind of on that same level. They're bringing in talent. They're trying to build something there to be competitive in the Prem. And, I mean, right now, for them to be in 3rd place, and they've got some big wins under their belt, it's very impressive. I know the second half of the season is completely different. You've seen in every league, it doesn't matter when. Arsenal was more than 12 points up last year. Everyone was talking like they won.
Yeah.
Whether you were an Arsenal fan or you weren't an Arsenal fan. And they ended up bottling it. That's just what happened. So I don't know if I think they'll be able to hold it, but anything can happen in the Prem. And that's why it's the most exciting league in the world, because you look like this. Yeah. 11 points splits 8th place to 1st place. Like, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah. So, like,
anything can happen.
Even more specific. From 5th place to 1st place, it's only 7 points.
Yeah.
That's literally 3 games in total. 2 losses and a draw.
That's what I mean.
So like, for me, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't see Aston Villa continuing this. I do see them finishing in a European spot, like a Europa League, Conference League, whatever. But I just don't see them holding on to that top 4 spot. I think
it's going to be a lot tougher.
Makes a comeback.
Yeah, with the competition that there is, especially right now, it's going to be a lot tougher for them to hold on. But, I mean, we've seen crazier things happen in our lifetime. We saw Leicester City win the Prem. So, I mean, that's already like,
it's true.
Who the fuck sees that shit?
King Granieri, baby.
I mean, Aston Villa being in the top 4 is not the craziest thing, man.
Yeah,
it's not.
They did replace very well. They did strengthen their squad, and like it goes back to that topic when I was talking about Newcastle, about how they didn't get proper depth, this, that, and whatever.
And you're seeing.
You look at Aston Villa. Like Aston Villa, I honestly will look at you, given for what they're competing for. I think they replaced very well, and they actually have decent enough depth. You know what I mean? Like, if Bailey or Diaby can't play, you have Zaniolo. You have like a Swiss Army knife that could play anywhere across that, you know? So that's where I think Aston Villa has that upper hand against maybe other teams. But I just think overall quality will come into play at a certain point.
Yeah, let's say they would have more, depth or more set up, let's just say, than Newcastle. You're seeing them get exposed now because a lot of their main players are getting injured, and then the guys coming in aren't good enough to replace and can't keep them on that level.
And that's the thing. They don't have the depth to be competing on 3
Brighton, I think, is kind of on that same page as them. But then that the only thing that's kind of pushed me away from, Villa even staying in that top spot, because you got teams like United who were, I know they're not still the best right now. There's a lot of things they got to figure out. But they've really made a jump up the table.
Yeah.
Coming up now, they're almost in a top 5 spot, and they're not far from it. Tottenham has been kind of going the other direction. They were 1st place on this high horse, and now they're kind of being brought back to earth and kind of saying, hey, settle down, like you're Tottenham.
I think it's a matter of like for Spurs and United, I feel like it's a matter of consistency.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
the second half of the season.
If they could find some sort of consistency, not even I'm saying like consistency, you're winning every single game.
No.
I'm saying out of 10 games, you're winning 7 of them. You might drop points to shittier teams here and there, but I'm saying like that overall consistency, if either of those guys could find it, I think they'll be in the top 4 rather than Aston Villa. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see Aston Villa
for me
in that conversation yet.
Between those two, like Tottenham and United, to get in like that top 3, top 4 spot, I feel like the thing that is their biggest weakness and will keep holding them back is not even like, the big teams. Okay, yeah, they're going to lose some games against the big teams, but they're getting some results against some of the bigger teams. It's when they face these lower end teams, these mid-table teams that they're dropping points to, where they should be getting all 3 points and they're walking away with 0 or 1.
Yeah.
That's what kills you. No matter what, I've always said it, even in the Italian league, in any league, it's those small teams that you're always like, no, okay, we got this one. Like, this is a for sure win, and then you end up going to lose that game, or you drop, or even draw that game. Yeah. Like those are the ones that kill you, man. Yeah. You lose a game, like you lose a game against Inter. It sucks because the rivalry, but you're like, you know what? Like, okay, fuck. Like, they're one of the best teams right now. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, it's at least we're also a good team. When last year we dropped points both games against Monza, yeah, okay, we weren't gonna win the league with those, but that kills you. That hurts you.
6 points still, rather than getting what? You guys lost both games, right? Or did you draw?
I think we drew one and we lost one.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's 6 points you lost, and you got 1
right
point
there.
out of
Plus,
6.
I think we dropped points against Lecce, Salernitana. It was all these smaller teams that Juve would. I'm not saying they're easy games to win, especially playing away there at some of these places. Yeah. It's tough.
It gets even tougher because you see those teams. Like, for me, the biggest fear, and I've always said this, is once you reach like that 3/4 of the way season, like that check mark, checkpoint. Sorry, not check mark.
Check mark.
That checkpoint. You start to see those teams that are battling relegation compete against those top 4 guys. You know what I mean? So you'll see, like for England, you'll see Aston Villa. They could get screwed over by the likes of Luton Town, by the likes of Nottingham Forest, because they're competing to stay alive.
Yeah.
Whereas like Aston Villa has like a guarantee, like, oh, we're good already, we locked it in, we just want Europe. Like the desire, it's like a fight or flight type of thing, right? And the desire of not getting relegated, as opposed to like whatever, that always overpowers anything else. Like again, last year, was it Salernitana? Their last 7 games, they only tied once.
Yeah.
And that pushed them up to stay alive. You know what I mean? Like, it's shit like that. And again, it's the Premier League. There's way more stories. There's way more poetry going on.
Yeah.
They love their last minute goals. Look at fucking Liverpool. You know what I mean? Like, that's what sells them the most, because anybody could win and like whatever.
And it makes them interesting. It makes people, you get more viewers like that. You have all these dramatics at the end of the game. Like, it's like, holy shit. Like, now they're adding 11 minutes to each game.
Anybody can beat anybody type shit. Like it is lovely to watch. That's why, like, if you're ever trying to figure out what to do on a Saturday or Sunday in the morning till like 4:00, buddy, put on the Premier League, put on Serie A, like only once the season's almost done. That's when you'll see some like.
But sometimes like I'll put on like a Prem game and like I'll sit on my couch, whatever. Like I like if it's not Juve, I'll watch. I like watching the game, going on my phone, text the group chat, go on, Instagram, Twitter, and just kind of like, and then look at like every so often look up at the game and kind of like do that. Every time I watch like a Prem game, I'm always like, I feel like I'm trying to pay attention to the thing because something's happening, because I hear the commentators like talking, and then I'm looking back on my phone, and then 2 seconds later something's happening, so I'm looking back. Like Serie A, it's like, a team presses for 5 minutes, and then it's like all play in the midfield. They're trying to pass. They try to attack. The other team gets the ball. Pass in the midfield. They lose the ball. And it's just like there's always like majority of that game, like the first half, first 10 minutes, all attacking. You're like, okay, this could be a good game. Then it's just stalemate. Everyone's just passing. Everyone's kind of just sitting back. I can go on my phone and just literally, I'll go on TikTok, and I won't even like. I'll usually stop when like something happens, and I go look at the screen. Now I'm not even hearing. I'm like, holy shit! And then I look at it. I hear the halftime whistle. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I'm like,
that's what happened.
Did anything happen this game?
This weekend against Roma against Fiorentina, I like had the day off watching the game, and I thought I'm gonna watch this whole game, start to finish. Finally, I get to sit down and watch a Roma game. I watched Roma score within the first 10 minutes. I think it was the 7th minute we scored, something like that. Minutes. And then I fell asleep and didn't wake up till I want to say 60th to 70th minute. Then I saw Fiorentina score. Then I saw a red card. Then I saw another red card. Fell back asleep, and the game ended like that. That's how it is for like a Serie A. As opposed to Prem, it's more end to end. Like
we only watch it because we're fans. We follow teams in that league, and like we have been since we were kids. Yeah, we were born into it. We didn't choose this life. This life chose us.
We probably chose.
You chose it.
I chose a life of sadness.
I was born into this. I know they're. I'm not complaining, but I mean, dude, you compare it to the fucking Prem. It's insane.
It's night and day.
And it doesn't matter who you're watching. It doesn't matter. If I look at like Serie A game, I'm like, hey, who's playing right now? And it's like Salernitana versus Lecce. I wouldn't even care to watch. Yeah. But dude, you go watch like Luton Town versus Nottingham Forest or Burnley. Dude, it's like end to end, like the whole game is fucking entertaining. You're like, oh my god, man, I'm actually like fucking invested in this.
Sometimes the quality sucks.
But I'm saying, but it's still it just. That's just their style of play.
More of a physical game, more athleticism.
Everybody's fucking fast as fuck.
Yeah. Speaking of relegated side or teams in relegation, we saw earlier this year that Everton faced a points deduction. I did say that finally this is the year Jordan Pickford and his T-Rex arms get to go down to the championship, but somehow they actually battled. They're officially out of the relegation zone. And honestly, they were doing well before the points deduction too. Yeah. So I was completely wrong. Sorry. They find themselves now 4 points safe of relegation. Mm-hmm. So besides Burnley and whatever, what other sides do you see this year potentially getting relegated? Or do you see any specific sides coming out of this whole relegation? So like right now in relegation, you got Luton, Burnley, Sheffield. Mm-hmm. On the cusp of relegation. Right.
Everton.
You got Everton, Nottingham, Crystal Palace, maybe. Like I said, Bournemouth, Wolves, you could maybe argue, but at the same time, I don't think so. They're at the 19 mark. I feel like there's a safe point.
I'll say even Crystal Palace even kind of pushing it, but I would even still include them.
Yeah. Just because Eze is injured and that guy's a fucking weapon.
Like looking at it now and like seeing the teams that it is, like I know, like Luton Town might end up just somehow squeezing through, and then Nottingham Forest ends up going down.
I'm hoping that's what.
But like, I genuinely, like, my gut and just looking at it, I think it's going to stay the same. Like, I think Everton will stay out and will be safe, and they're going to stay in the league. Which, I mean, honestly, great for them, because I've been through it last year, losing points, during a season, and then trying to figure it out. We didn't get hit that bad, but losing points and then trying to recover and trying to get that mentality. It's hard, especially to get your team together and get the players to have, that push, that drive to wanna do it, especially being in relegation at that point. It's tough. So I mean, I give it to them. Like, I'm happy. I hope they stay up. And genuinely, I don't think they would go, like, they go down unless they go on a super, super bad form, or a run of form. But I can't really see that. Like, I see them, especially, I see that, like, them taking that whole, like, thing that happened to them as, like, inspiration for them to, like, make a push. Obviously, not gonna get the top 10 or top. I mean, top 10 will be kind of tough for them, but maybe they crack top 10.
It's just top 5. No, like, when you look at their record, like, they have more wins than all the way up to the 10th spot. Everton. But yet they are in 17th place. I mean, like, it shows that they started
off so bad. But they started off rough. They kind of figured it out. We're doing well. And then, they got screwed over with that whole penalty and the points deduction, so they got dropped down. And now they're kind of picking up. Like, that's why you're seeing this now. And the only reason they're there, obviously, is because the lost points. Like, that's they would have been probably in a lot better position.
Which, to me, like, my hat goes off to them that they were able to battle it out. But for me, I just feel like if you're doing something mid-season like this, like point deduction type of thing, I feel like it shouldn't be happening mid-season.
No.
You know what I mean? I feel like you should start the season with that. You know what I mean? And, like, my hat goes off to them for actually puffing out their chests and doing that. But for me, it's just stupid now.
Yeah.
Because look, they have a better record than all the teams up until the 10th spot. What if, hypothetically speaking, they were good enough? They're playing their best football. Sean Dyche is just saying, "Hold my dick," and they actually could have finished, maybe, I doubt it, but maybe, like, in a top 4 spot. You go from battling for a top 4 all the way down to relegation mid-season.
Staying in the
like, that's not fair. Start it off at the beginning of the season, so you know what you're dealing with.
I've said that since last year.
It's just stupid
when we went through it. Like, them doing an investigation, in the middle of the season, or as soon as after the season, the first game is played. No problem. You can investigate, do whatever you got to do. Make sure you find out the proper penalty, because, again, if, let's say, for Juve, they said, okay, something's happening here, we're going to figure it out, they are going to get penalized.
Yeah.
If they waited until the end of the season and then did it for the start of this season, they wouldn't have looked so stupid, taking points, then giving back points, then taking away less points. That made them look so stupid and just incompetent, like, with that whole situation.
I agree. No, I agree.
Them just waiting until the end, saying, okay, you know what, going back and forth, this is what we come to, this is where we're agree on. Next season, Juve starts, 10 points. Or Everton, we found all this many breaches. We thought negative 10 points is a right punishment. Next season, you're starting minus 10 points.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I don't get why do it in the, like, it's so stupid. And it's just honestly like just the league being fucking cocksuckers, because that's going to, no, but it's true. What do you know that's going to fuck up a team's mentality, and that's not going to help them out.
I didn't know it was just the word cocksucker. Sorry.
No, but Joe, it's you do that to a team, it's gonna fuck them up, and no matter they're on the best run of their lives, it's gonna mess them up.
Yeah, no, I be able to. It's a mental game.
It's all a mental game, and the league just doing that to them just shows that they don't care about the players or the teams. And that is all I have to say regarding that. Actually, no, that was good.
I thought you had more there.
You looked at me like you wanted to say something.
I don't know. I was waiting for you to say more, because like.
You looked at me like you wanted to, like, kiss me or something.
I did want to kiss you. Christmas market. But anyways,
there's no mistletoe here.
Anyway, we should put a mistletoe.
No.
Yeah, no, it's super weird.
So we got to kiss.
Anyway, speaking of kissing each other, Liverpool is on top of the table, which kind of comes by surprise, I guess, given like how everything started with Spurs, then City, Arsenal, maybe finally doing something again. Whatever, but like not really. It's Liverpool, right? People are often talking about like the importance of Haaland for City, Rodri, Son for Spurs, like whatever it is, and we kind of neglect Mr. Mohamed Salah, who is a Roma legend. Had to squeeze that in there. That's
I'll give you that one.
He has actually contributed to half of Liverpool's goals, which is kind of an absurd stat to me. Like out of 39 goals, he's had 18 goals and assists. Like goes to show his importance. But we're not going to talk about him because then I feel like I'll have a bit of a bias because Roma legend again. So I'm going to ask you, Al, given the remainder of the season and everything like that, given positions of the club, stuff like that, again, which players do you think are absolutely vital for their team's success or like reaching their goals? Like Chelsea.
Liverpool?
Not Liverpool.
Oh,
I'm saying I was going to give you an example. Like Chelsea, like hypothetically, let's say their goal was a top 4 finish.
Yeah.
Who are or is their key player to push them up to that level? Wolves for staying alive, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, since you already brought up Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea I feel like it's the most obvious one we have to talk about. Sorry, Ro.
There's obviously like you look at Chelsea, and I know you said it before, and like I've agreed with you. They don't have a bad team.
No.
They got a good group of guys. They got really good potential. What they need is patience, and they need their experienced guys. They're guys like Sterling. He has been stepping up, but they need him to be, consistently stepping up for them and being that leader on the field.
Yeah.
They need a guy like Nicholas Jackson, who, he scored the hat trick that day, and he sued and he was going nuts. To be fair, like they were down a man, like it was.
Fun fact, actually, he has their most goals, which is kind of crazy to me, but it's also
they were playing like an offside trap for some reason still when they were down and they were losing. Like I don't know, it made no sense.
From Spurs, that was Spurs doing Spurs.
It was a weird, and people make fun of that hat trick because it was it wasn't really whatever. It wasn't an ideal hat trick, but what that should have done, I hoped it would have done for him, was kind of give him that confidence to say, like, hey, now I got a feel for these goals. I want to get more. Yeah. And, I want to keep going. And I feel like that really hasn't happened like I thought it should have. So I feel like he just needs to kind of find his feet. And I know he's still young and it's a lot to ask for him, but just to kind of find a little bit of that consistency to try to just be
being involved more.
For
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if that's their outlet.
Exactly. Yeah. Even if he's not he's not scoring a goal every game. If his hold up play and his laying off his crease, the chances he's creating, if that's still good, hey, by all means, I don't give a fuck, man. You can score 6 goals the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But if you were a big part of that team and just the way your play in general help the team out, make them better, by all means, man, I'll take that no problem in my striker.
Yeah.
Then you got a guy like Gallagher, who actually surprisingly, our friend
didn't surprise me.
Didn't want anything to do with him last year.
Didn't surprise me, baby.
This year, he's probably been one of their best midfielders.
He's been their standout to me.
Like I know,
to be honest, like
Enzo is Enzo. Enzo's phenomenal. I do think like you're not seeing the full Enzo and like the Enzo we saw in the World Cup.
Yeah,
that's obviously going to change too based on like team performances and once kind of the team starts kind of finding the rhythm. But you have Gallagher, you have Fernandes, like you kind of got something good in the midfield. Caicedo, I'm still not sold on. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think they can. Like I think he might turn out to be good. Hey, again, that's another thing that I'm wrong about.
To be honest,
but I think he's like I watch him play and I'm just like, what are you good at?
Yeah.
Like I don't like he doesn't. I don't know, man. Especially for Chelsea, like in their midfield, I feel like he's not that guy. Like he's he might be good like he was for Brighton. He might be good for even like a Tottenham. But for Chelsea, like I feel like they need not even just a bigger name, just somebody that will just fit their culture, just fit their team better, and you'll see how much better that midfield is. Casado, he can still turn it around and become an animal, but for me, like that's kind of like a weak part in that.
See, for me, I'll sorry to interrupt.
No.
I was gonna say for me, like I was thinking about this the other day. It's a little off topic, but it still ties in. I was thinking about Declan Rice, James Maddison, and Caicedo, and I was thinking which of the 3 players was actually like the transfer of the summer. Let's just say, like obviously, like there was better transfers, but I'm saying like transfer of the summer. And what kind of screws over like Caicedo and Declan Rice for being that is simply the price tag they came with. Yeah, Declan Rice is doing great, but it's that price tag. Does it justify $100 million?
The way he's been playing, no. He's probably one of the only players other than Bellingham that's actually like somewhat justifying his price.
But then you also see like James Maddison. You look at that what he was doing before his injury. It's like holy fuck, that's a bargain. So like my opinion with Caicedo is I feel like if he didn't come in for the sum he came in for, this would be a good season so far for him. It's the fact that he came on the brink of
price tag, man.
Spending what 3 players of that midfield costed them 270 mil roughly. That's what makes you think like, oh, Caicedo's not doing well. This guy's not doing well. You know what I mean? Like that's where it kind of like gets a little wishy-washy. And you want them to justify their price tag. For me, I would say the key player for Chelsea is, I think it's Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Like Sterling, I agree with you there. I'm not going to say you're wrong or whatever. I actually agree with that.
That's what I was saving for last was Cole Palmer.
For me, I'd say Cole Palmer is probably one of those guys because, like, honestly, he flew under the radar.
Oh yeah.
He barely featured for City. Like he was kind of like I guess you could say no-name named player. Like
because look how much talent and like the names that they have on City. Like, exactly. A guy like that, you're not going to hear a lot of him or see a lot of him.
But him, like he's been like he's kind of like an unorthodox right mid because he's not the fastest, but like his creativity is amazing. Yeah. He has an eye for goal. Yeah, like good, like the way he went cross body on Onana. Okay, yes, Onana should have maybe saved it because it was moving quite slow. But to still have the technique to get it off and get it on target, like it was a clean little finish, you know. Like for me, I think Cole Palmer, as long as he maintains that, him and Sterling are a very good duo. They just need, like you said, Nico Jackson to be better with his output, whether it's holding the ball up, whether it's scoring goals. He just needs to be a little bit better, and I think you could see Chelsea maybe challenge for like a top 4, top 5, top 6 European. And what other team? Sorry. Or wait, did you have more on Chelsea or?
No, the only thing I was going to add was Palmer, which you ended up adding at the end. For me, like that guy came in, he's a young player. He's coming into this team. He's already breaking out and showing what he can do and like what he can offer. That's a guy like you make him like your main piece. Right now Chelsea's kind of like trying to find their way and figure out who they are. That's a guy like you make him as your main piece. He's the guy you build around, and he's like he's the player that the team plays for, who they look for and who they look up to, because he's going to be the kind of like leading the way with this team. Yeah. Like I genuinely feel like like he can do that, and I feel like they just can't fuck up and get rid of him or just bring in somebody else in the same position and then he doesn't play as much. Like this kid's good, man. Look what he's doing. Use him, abuse him. Keep him in there.
Chill. Kid, and then the word abuse, you can't say that, dude.
But he's above 18, so you can do whatever you want to him. You can abuse him all you want, baby.
Yeah, no, for sure. Anyways, let's talk about another team now.
Why, you don't want to talk about Cole Palmer anymore?
I don't want to talk about abuse.
Joe's just looking around.
We're getting canceled. This is it, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Ultra Select.
Abuse in soccer, man. You don't gotta be so sick about it.
Why are you turning all red and getting nervous? I'll smoke the Jaybird. That's why he's actually turning red. Anyways, before we got a little weird on that,
Joe's basically weird down here.
Al, is there another player that you think is key for a team? Or is like, you can talk about anybody, man. Anybody.
Well, I mean, obviously, Tonali and Newcastle, massive, but the guy bets too much. He can't play. Bets too much, and
he can't play.
I bet he's not going to be playing for a while.
Yeah, that guy's done. That guy's done.
But yeah, he's a guy that I think.
If he was there, I think Newcastle's season would have been a little bit different. I'm not going to lie. Not because he's Italian.
No.
His ability is.
You saw it when he came in already to the team. Like, it's a whole new country he's playing in. He's never played in England. It's a whole new team. And for him to, kind of pick it up, you saw some errors, obviously. That's normal in a player like that, transferred to a new team, new country. But he fucking fit in well, man. And he made that team better.
Yeah, he did. He did. That midfield
everything flowed. The ball play to the strikers, everything was nice. Once he comes back, as long as he's fucking not stupid and
but could he come back this season?
Yeah, I think he's back this season.
No.
Oh no, he's back. He's back for next season. I think he's back for the Euro Cup.
Yeah, so essentially
he can play in the Euro Cup technically. Yeah. I know. But once he comes back, I think like going forward with Newcastle, like whatever, it's 1 year. Like now they're just first year back in Champions League. They're just kind of figuring themselves out. Once he comes back, I think he's going to be, the next couple of years, as long as he stays there, he's going to be big for them.
Yeah.
For United,
where do you start, Lo?
Where do I start? But I genuinely think for them, they got a great striker on their hands. Who?
Højlund.
I genuinely
the
think...
man who hasn't scored a goal.
I know.
Yeah.
I genuinely think, though, he's good. You can't judge a player off their first season.
I do agree.
You can't. Look at Vinny. Vinny, when he first went to Real Madrid,
Benzema said he was playing against us.
Yeah.
He was
literally saying he was playing against us. He's like, he doesn't want us to win. Like, this guy stinks. And like he did. But now you look at him and he's, one of the best attackers right now probably in the world.
Overrated.
People, push hype a little bit, but Joe, at the end of the day, like, he's fucking phenomenal.
Overrated.
No. He's playing with Real Madrid and he's doing phenomenal. So pretty fairly rated out there. He's playing on Roma and he's getting hype, then maybe overrated because like you score a goal at Roma, you're overrated.
Yeah, because we don't score. But anyways,
going back to Højlund.
Yeah, Højlund, Rasmus.
I think he needs some time. They still don't know if Ten Hag's gonna be the coach long term. If he's gonna be, I was gonna get to our boy next, Joe. Don't worry. I'm easing into him, man. The future striker next to Højlund. Højlund, I feel like, once he kind of finds his feet, I feel like he's going to be kind of that striker that United have been waiting for and have been missing for a very long time, that they've been trying to find this proper guy, and they always find the wrong guys. I genuinely think he can be that guy, and he can really fit in well there for that team.
Yeah.
The next guy, I think, like you showed me before, and probably gonna be playing striker next to Højlund.
Let's get real.
McTominay.
Let's be real. Let's actually be real.
McTominay.
With Scott McSauce over here.
Scott McSauce has been doing amazing.
He's been doing good, but I don't think he's the key in any way.
I think he could be a key.
Nah, no.
I think better than Casemiro at United.
Okay, my thing is this: he's a stopgap. He's doing well to replace Casemiro, who's out injured or whatever. I actually don't even think Casemiro's injured. I just think he doesn't want to vibe.
I think he's playing. They're playing McSauce wrong. Playing him as a defensive mid.
It's actually kind of funny because I'm pretty sure for Scotland, McTominay plays attacking mid. I'm not trying to be funny either. I'm
pretty sure he does.
Of
but
that.
No, but even last week, it's like Joe. They were saying I saw a video before he got called up to the first team when he was with the academy. He was a striker with the academy.
It makes sense, man. He does have a decent eye for goal.
That's like, dude, his finishing ability, and like you saw that game, the game that we saw, and then like a couple weeks before he came on, he scored 2 goals.
And that was very funny that day.
Like,
that was very, very funny.
Dude, like I'm sorry, I get it, but you can't. It's even like Gatti, for example.
Oh my God, always fucking back to Juve.
Because he's another guy. And I just saw literally after he scored on Friday, his dad was saying he used to play striker, then someone got hurt of the team, they dropped him back to midfield. Someone got hurt defense. He had to play defense one game. The coach liked him, ended up keeping him there, and now the guy's center back. But you see them when they attack the ball, even with Mick Saucy over here. You see him. He's not just attacking, just going and just throwing his body at it and not knowing where it's going to go. They have proper finishing. They know where to be in those positions.
Mourinho's secret weapon when he was on United. And everybody made fun of him for it, but that guy, I think in one season, I don't quote me, I don't know the exact number. Yeah, dude, with United, literally, Mourinho said that's my striker.
Yeah.
He would throw him up top. Why? Because he was such a physically dominant player. He knew how to use his body well.
Mm-hmm.
Everton played him as an attacking mid. He has a 0 ball ability. Like, he sucked, but that guy scored.
But he could.
And it's like
ball,
McTominay.
Man.
McTominay knows how to use his body. He knows where to be. He has that instinct. Is it the best? Is it the fanciest? No.
Mm-hmm.
But I see where you're coming from. I just don't think McTominay is that guy. I don't think he'll ever be that guy to me.
Who is on United, man? I don't think it's overhyped Garnacho over there. That Gatti has more goals than him.
I'm sorry. Garnacho is... I hope I'm wrong, but I think he's going to be such an overrated player, and I don't think he will live up to what... So. Argentinian player, whatever, but... It kind of says something that he worships Ronaldo and not Messi, and he's Argentinian. Every Argentinian worships Messi, Maradona, like those guys. Not him. He fucking worships Ronaldo. Weird flex. But yeah, no, I do agree with you with Højlund. I think once he finds his feet, that'll be crucial, very, very crucial for United. The work ethic's there. The work ethic's there. He's putting in a good shift. He's trying to get him behind the line. He's trying to do his work. It's just he's missing that final touch right now. And I don't know if United knew that when they were getting him from Atalanta, but it's even with Atalanta, he wasn't prolific.
No.
He didn't score. I think he had 7 goals or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like
he's more of that.
He's got a lot to learn and a lot to step up. But I mean, I genuinely I think he has that potential and can become that guy, especially for United.
I think he just has to find his shooting boots, and once that happens, I think he'll be a dangerous player. Is there any other key players to look out for?
Not really that come to mind that I really care to talk about. Obviously, I mean, Haaland for City, he's got to wake the fuck up. Yeah, but I also feel like that's not having De Bruyne there, who was massive for a majority of his goals last year, and put him in those positions to score those goals. Not having him there is really showing he's missing that. So I mean, other than that, I with the other teams there, like you said before, you got Son and Madison's really stepping up for Tottenham. They keep doing that. They're going to be the key for that team.
James Ward-Prowse for West Ham because it's crazy.
Yeah, I know, but it's West Ham. The guy's going to score a crazy goal one game, and then the next game lose 4-1 against a mid-table team. Yeah, then they lost the next game 4-0, 5-0, whatever it was.
All right, so
I mean, it's irrelevant.
On that note, we will switch topics over here. We will talk about.
Stop talking at the table. What does table do to you?
Dude, it's cheesing me harder, bro. We will talk about the downfall of nations. Now, this isn't some sort of World War II.
I was gonna say, are we getting
World War shit thing we're talking about over here? What I am actually going to be talking about, what we are going to be talking about, is nations that are basically like countries. Not nations. I don't know. Whatever.
Either one, man.
That are basically in a dark period, skill-wise or team-wise. So, like Italy, for example. Everybody says they're in a dark period. They don't have enough youngsters coming up. They don't have this. They don't have enough youngsters coming up. They don't have enough anything coming up. So we started thinking about what other nations are kind of along that category that are having like a negative trajectory, or we could see having a negative trajectory. Mm-hmm. Not that they're already in that, don't want to get people confused when we maybe list the team and they say, oh, what the fuck, they're doing good still. No, they could maybe go downhill based off of
the way they're going.
One of the teams that comes right to my mind right away for me is Brazil. They sit 6th in the World Cup qualification. They're behind Ecuador. I don't know what just happened to my phone there, but whatever. They're sitting behind Ecuador. And keep in mind, Ecuador started with -3 points. I don't know what happened there. I don't know the scandal, whatever they were bribing, what they were doing, drug lords, this, that. Cool, I don't know. But they were -3 points, and now Brazil is behind them. What other specific teams do you think of that are in a dark age or entering this said dark age?
Other than Brazil, 2 that probably come to my mind the quickest is one being Germany. And I know that's not really like a new thing. They have been definitely going through the dark ages and dark times with that team. I just feel like they're at that weird stage where, they still got some of their experience, older veterans, they want to still call up to the team to bring that experience and have the youth. But I just feel like there's this weird in between that they're missing, and they just can't get it to click because, you keep seeing, they're making the competitions, but you see them when you're watching the Euro Cup or the World Cup, and they're not Germany like they used to fear. Yeah. They used to look at it and you're like, holy fuck, we got to play Germany next. Like now it's like, holy fuck, we're playing Germany. Like, we got a pretty good chance to win this game. Like they're not that big threat anymore. And you look at even like their youth that are coming up now, like there's not like who's really you do look at that you're like, holy fuck, like this guy, like look at this guy coming up, like holy, like they're gonna be they don't have anybody. Like who you would have Sane, Musiala, other than Musiala, but like one guy's not gonna do it all.
I agree.
Like you're not especially like in a World Cup or a Euro Cup, you're not gonna be able to do it with just one guy. He's probably gonna do a lot of it because the guy's phenomenal the way he fucking moves, but you need more than that, man. You're not gonna be just doing it with that. Yeah. So that's one of the teams I would say that probably for me is like they're already in the dark ages and they're probably going to be there for a while until they figure stuff out. Another one which I wouldn't say are in it or maybe that close to it, but I can definitely see within the next 3-4 years starting to happen is Argentina. Now they're at they're high. They're at they're the best team in the world. They have okay, Messi. Probably Messi's the oldest one, other than him. Who's it? Otamendi.
Yeah. Oh, I think Otamendi probably might be older than him.
Okay, whatever. But you have you have a couple guys that are probably going to play one more competition and then call it quits because they're at that age. Then the rest of the guys are at that kind of lower 30s. They'll still play a couple competitions, but they're not really the main firepower for the team, or the main guys for the team, the big threats.
Yeah.
And then you got your youngsters, which they got a lot of promising talent. They got a lot of a good core. But I just think that you look in a lot of those positions that once that guy leaves, obviously Messi, for example, it's going to be tough to fill a guy's shoes like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. In their defense, I know Acuna. Nobody likes him, but the guy does his job and shuts you down and makes your life makes that right winger's life difficult for that game. But once he leaves, him, Otamendi, I their backline, I don't really see it. I see it getting a lot worse. Even their strike force. Okay, they got Martinez, but we've all seen Martinez choke in
especially with
big competitions, especially with Argentina.
Yeah.
And playing with a club and playing with especially a team like Argentina where it has a lot of weight on wearing that jersey, it's different, man. Yeah. You saw Higuain score 37 goals or 36 goals in a fucking Serie A season, and then he was missing fucking tap-ins at the World Cup.
Yeah.
It's just a different gravy. That's what it would play with a national team. And I think Argentina, once they kind of get past this high that they're on, you Di Maria as well too. Almost fucking forgot about him. Dude, he scored in both finals that Argentina won in recently.
Yeah, he's very close.
When you lose a guy like that, okay, he's not. Now he's getting a lot of injuries. He's not as consistent and being able to play as much as he used to. But he's there in those big moments, and he comes up in those big moments.
Yeah.
So losing him, losing Messi in the attack, these are things that are they're really gonna hurt them. I think, and it's gonna be tough for them in that time because that's where they're going to be, I think, panicking and try to figure it out quick and try to, okay, let's call this guy and think, okay, that's not working. Oh my God, we're almost not going to make the Copa America, or we're not going to qualify for the World Cup, and they're going to have to try to figure stuff out, and that's where I think they're going to start panicking. And personally, that's what I think. I think that Argentina, people are especially with Argentina, Germany, everyone will agree. If someone doesn't, you're probably German or you're stupid. Either one of the two. Argentina. It's a lot of people are probably going to say I'm wrong or I'm stupid or zero ball knowledge.
Argentina's a tough one.
But it's right? I genuinely think, man, I look at it and I'm like, and if I look at Argentina in 4 or 5 years, they're not going to be close to the level that this team's playing at right now.
I won't harp on Argentina just yet. I will come back to that. I want to talk to you about Germany and Brazil because those are the two teams that Germany more than Brazil, whatever. But it's just a topic. I want to ask you a question. Germany has gone through multiple coaches since Jurgen Löw, since their dominant era, their dominant coach. Now Brazil is kind of doing the exact same thing. And now apparently I've read some stuff that they're not locked in with Ancelotti, but I've seen stuff that they are locked in. I don't know what to believe, but let's just say, hypothetical world, it is a done deal right now.
Okay.
So, Ancelotti to Brazil. Do you see this benefiting Brazil given their lack of, for me at least, their lack of players? Because for me, I know this might sound like whatever, I think Brazil will always be deemed a top team, but I see this being a very dark period for them because I don't think they have the world beaters they once did. After Ronaldinho in that class era of Ronaldo, whatever, they had Neymar. And I won't lie to you, as much as people might want to downplay Neymar, that man could have been one of, if not the best players in the world.
If he never left Barca,
if he never got as injured as he did, Neymar was a joy to watch, and that was the closest thing to Ronaldinho you will ever see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure he had the most assists in Brazilian national team history. And he didn't really have a long lifespan with Brazil like those other guys did, right? So, do you see them changing coaches benefiting them, or do you think it's going to be?
No, I do think they need
tire fight.
I think they need to freshen up. They need a new coach, and bring in a guy like Angelotti, who what he's going to bring to the table. You know the type of coach he is. Plus, he's worked with a couple of these
top players,
Brazilians already, so he knows them. They know him. They know what he's going to expect of them, and they can kind of like talk to the team and not warn them, but let them know the type of coach that he is and what he expects from the players.
Yeah,
and I'm on the same page with you with this Brazil because in a lot of their positions they got you got like a guy like Thiago Silva, who I don't think he's retired yet. I think he's still playing. Yeah. But he's kind of moving his way out there. But you got like Bremer, who he might not have the longevity of Thiago Silva or be as good as him. But right now the guy's playing good, and you kind of have that replacement where you're not going to take too much of a hit. I don't think you're going to gain a little bit more speed, a little bit more maybe more physical than Thiago Silva is right now. But he won't have you're losing like the smarts and that experience in the defender. Yeah. The biggest thing is Neymar for me. Neymar, because like you said, he's the close thing to Ronaldinho. For Brazil, like probably like I don't want to say better than Ronaldinho, but in an imaginary world, he didn't get injured and he stayed with Barca.
Oh, buddy.
He probably would have been the closest thing that people would have.
He would have gotten a Ballon d'Or.
100%. But I'm saying people would have looked at him being the closest thing to like Pele for Brazil. I think he would have done better than Ronaldinho. I think he would have been like that next guy because you saw he had the skill. He was just very unlucky, and the choices he made in his career didn't benefit him. They kind of fucked him over. Even
still, like when you see Neymar's upbringing as opposed to like Ronaldinho. Yeah. Ronaldinho had a fantastic supporting cast.
Oh yeah,
he had Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Roberto Carlos, Emerson, Zabina, Lucio, Cafu, Maicon, Dani. I was like, the list goes on for him. Yeah. Who did Neymar have? Okay, they obviously still had good players.
Yeah,
but not to that standard. You know what I mean?
There was that World Cup where he was playing with what's that guy's name?
Fred.
Fred was his striker. Fred or R9.
That's what I mean. Like Neymar genuinely could have been,
and they still did pretty good for that. For those they got dicked by Germany in the semifinals. Yeah, but
that was a different gravy, Germany,
dude,
man. That was fucking.
You put two of like the old like Brazil players like R9, or you put like an R9 in there and another player from that team, and I guarantee that game
they won it all.
They might even win that game. They might even win it all. I would guarantee in Brazil they probably would have won it all, but. You saw like they didn't have it. Neymar couldn't do it all.
Yeah,
he couldn't.
Sorry.
No, I was pretty much just wrapping up.
What I was gonna say was I actually don't think.
You just cut me off.
Yeah, I'm cutting you off because you said you're wrapping it up. So I'm gonna say what I want to say, man. I actually don't think Ancelotti will have any success with Brazil.
I think you will.
My thing is because some coaches don't realize there's a difference between international and club. First off, second off. Brazil's style, and I know Ancelotti, from what everyone says is he's a very free-flowing coach. Mm-hmm. He basically tells the players go out there and do what you do best type of thing. But I don't think that would work for Brazil simply because they would lack that discipline. Yeah. Like Vini might have it, Rodrigo might have it, Eder Militao might have it. But I don't think like Brazil is the right step for Ancelotti. I personally don't think as much as I would have loved him on Italy, maybe this is me being sour and bitter because he's one of my favorite coaches of all time, and he's not coaching Roma or Italy. But I just don't see him having that success because realistically speaking, my theory is he's coached some of the best Brazilians right now that are playing. But what about everything else? Your team's not made up of three guys. Vini doesn't have that big dick energy like Neymar had.
No.
Rodrigo definitely doesn't.
No.
Because Rodrigo, I don't even know if he's Brazilian. I think he's Sri Lankan. I don't know. Eder Militao, he's a good center back. You have Marquinhos too, but to me, Marquinhos, he's not what people say he is. He's a little bit.
He had a good season.
He's easy to beat. He's one of those athletic center backs, like a Roger Ibanez. You know, just athletic. Smart, whatever, but prone to errors.
Yeah.
Now, what are your wing backs? Who are you gonna go with? You can't buy somebody. You can't bring Furlan Mendy or Camavinga there.
Marcelo. Bring Marcelo back.
I wouldn't be surprised, actually, honestly.
But hey, if anything, that free flowing thing might work with Brazil, man. They live off that Joga Bonito, man.
Yeah,
They play their own style.
could, but I just
do whatever you want. You little samba outside there. You might,
I just don't even see, based off like their youngsters. You look at the players that are coming up: Endrick, Vitor Roque, Marcos Leonardo. All these guys are attackers, not creative players, not like creative attackers like a Neymar or whatever. It's just through and through attackers.
I imagine Neymar had these guys here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like Neymar would have made it work because you give him the ball, he'll bring the ball up the field and do what he has to do. But it's like I don't know. I think Ancelotti, like appointing him, it's right person, wrong time. I think if they had something a little bit better, youngsters and whatever, Brazil, this would benefit them.
Yeah.
I don't think it benefits them at all, actually. But yeah, so we'll go back to the Argentina thing just because I feel like you have a lot to say with that, and I might have to chime in with you and whatever. So we'll clarify right now before we get attacked by the Argentinians because
Argentina
you guys are very
is not in a downfall now.
Yes.
They're not. We're not saying that.
Yeah, but there's just a suspicion without God in their starting 11 that they're gonna take a little bit of a big blow.
We're trying to get ahead of the curve and trying to show that we got some ball knowledge over here.
I don't have ball knowledge. Anyways, for me, my question makes no sense. The question I'm gonna ask you, Al, what does life look after Messi, after Lionel Messi? I know you mentioned youngsters, whatever, but that's obviously not the only thing. Like it's weird because even with Argentina right now, like you have that whole thing with Scaloni that's going on too, right? So it's like he doesn't even know if he wants to be the coach, and I understand why. His clarity is beautiful, actually, saying he doesn't have the energy to fully put himself into blah blah blah. Understandable.
Want half-assed.
So that's what certain factors are contributing to that. Like, what does life look after without Scaloni, without Messi? Like,
bring in Pochettino and you bring in Matias Sule, and there you go, buddy. There's your problem solved. Dude. You got the Messi regime coming in, and you got Poch coming in.
Messi what?
Regime?
Regen.
I said it with a French accent. Regime.
No, it sounds like you're saying regime, like regime.
Yeah, regime.
Regime, like the British regime.
I'll put them both together. Regime. The regime. We're a little bit French this episode, man.
It's okay.
Sue me. Messi played in France 1 year.
Yeah, but you can't have French talking with Argentina. Anyways.
Why not?
Life after Messi.
Because we beat them that one time?
Life after... You're not Argentinian.
Tell my mom that right now. Wallahi, tell my mom that right now.
Now you're Iraqi?
No.
Wallahi?
No, I just...
Anyways.
I know the culture.
Life after Messi, I'll take the lead on this one. I think what they have to do while he's still playing...
After I answer your question already.
What'd you say?
Matias Sule. What? You don't want to hear my answers? Now they're not good enough for you?
No, that's not good enough for me because he's a bum. He's average. He's playing well because he's on Frosinone right now. He's a Juve player. Guys, Al's only saying Sule because
the only midfielder with more goals than him is Bellingham. Bellingham.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
No.
And he has the most dribbles completed in all of Europe. Yeah. Some might say it because Messi's not playing in Europe, but...
Okay, what about Buonanotte?
What is that?
What about Buonanotte?
Hey, you should go to bed.
It is a good name. You know what? Screw you.
No. Real shit. Because Joe obviously won't accept my Matias Sule.
Yeah, Matias Sule is not the answer. There's multiple.
Hopefully he comes to play for Italy. That's right, baby.
Yeah. My thing is what I was going to say was I just think now, while Messi's there, you integrate youth, and then you'll be good.
I joke, because at the end of the day, you're never going to replace the best player to ever play the game.
No,
and when a national team, you've seen those videos when, they're walking into the tunnel and stuff and everybody's behind Messi and they're walking like they're a fucking squad and they'll do anything and they'll kill for Messi. When you got a team like that playing for one guy, when that guy leaves, you're not going to have that same mentality. You're not going to have that care and that passion that they once had.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, man.
You're not wrong. And that's why with that you might end up having a guy that comes in to replace him And, he might not be as Messi. He might be a little bit underrated. And that guy might eventually come into our underrated ballers team that we're building today. Yeah, I just transitioned on your ass.
I took my job, baby. I took my job.
Man, you don't even know what's happening right now. Joe's still trying to figure out what just happened.
I was going to say something about Gianluca Prestiani because he's going to Benfica, Di Maria, like whatever.
No, but we're going. What are we going with, Joe?
Al just kind of told you.
I did just tell you.
Now, for me to explain it.
Underrated Ballers Edition.
Yeah, and we're not talking about guys. Sorry, this is a transition, by the way. We're done talking about downfall of nations.
Argentina, because realistically, they're going to be a fucking joke once Messi retires.
Jeez, I don't think that.
I think so. Hey,
I don't
come at me. I don't care. My mom's from there, so I can say whatever I want. This guy's dissing my.
Anyways, so underrated ballers. We're building a team. We are going to build a team of underrated ballers. It's not like you guys always say when you say, oh, the streets don't forget Michu. No, people do forget him because he had one good year. Or Timu Puki. Or this guy. Or Tarap because he knew how to dance with the ball at his feet. Like, okay, I do love Tarap though because it was pretty crazy to watch.
It was nasty with his feet.
Regardless, it's not guys. We're not going to be speaking about guys like that. We are going to be speaking of guys that have played top level or whatever it is and have survived it, had the longevity. They just didn't get the credit.
Yeah.
So, we're not going to use this guy because I'm kind of cheating, but I'm just going to give an example. Like a guy like Sergio Busquets. Xavi and Iniesta got the accolades in the center mid. Nobody really talked about Busquets and what he did.
No.
Underrated ball.
Yeah, I'd say no one really rates him.
A lot of people don't talk about how clutch and key he really was. So that is our topic. There's no restrictions, but we're going to try to keep it as diverse as possible.
Yeah.
We're not going to list a full team of Italians, Brazilians, or whatever. Like, we'll try to keep it from 2 to 3 at the most.
We're not going to start abusing nations and try to start putting a whole team of Brazilians and Italians.
This is the first team that won't have Maldini.
Yeah.
First team since we started doing this that will not have Paolo Maldini.
For sure, it's already going to be different.
Okay. So, I told Al I would start because there's a name that comes to my head right away. But
before we start on the team, are we going 4-3-3 formation?
Yeah, we always go 4-3-3.
I try to see if you want.
No, 4-3-3.
2, Mourinho or something.
First off, Mourinho's favorite formation is 4-2-3-1. Roma just sucks, so he plays 5-men back.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm saying 4-3-3. 4-3-3. 4-3-3.
All right, let's get into this. Joe, start.
Okay. Goalkeeper. This is my fucking king. My guy had more clean sheets one year than the best goalie to ever exist. Nobody talks about him though, ever. King Morgan, baby. Morgan De Sanctis is my underrated keeper.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Morgan De Sanctis.
I'm not gonna say anything about that. I don't mind. I always appreciated De Sanctis. He had some clutch moments.
My fucking king.
Wasn't rated because
at all. He sucked, but he was underrated.
A lot of good Italian goalies, but he just.
I don't even think he featured for Italy.
No. There's too many good goalies.
But that's the thing. Like, how do you feature above Buffon? Like, you grew up in that era. Like, you're not playing. You're not that guy. But anyways,
you're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Anyways,
right back. I'm probably gonna start with my own personal guy. I spent a lot of years watching.
I already know what you're gonna say.
In what was a great 9 years. Didn't play the full 9 years, but he was there for the most of it. Was one of the biggest players in that team and in that defense. He had the nickname Forrest Gump because the guy did not stop running for 90 minutes. I'm going Stefan Lichtsteiner at right back.
I knew that was the guy. The second
solid right back. Did his job perfectly fine. Never really rated because, it's legit. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't anything flashy. He just did his job and just didn't stop running. He didn't stop running.
I just felt like running. Okay, so now for me, we're going to transition over to center back. This is a guy that he didn't get any credit because who he was playing alongside. They talk about his counterpart in Ferdinand, almost 24/7 about being a Rolls-Royce defender. But I think it was this guy that actually carried that United backline. I feel like I've given it away if you don't know, but I'm going to say Nemanja Vidic. I feel like he was severe. Okay, I get he has an icon card. In
FIFA no, but that's the thing. You can't. But I'm just saying, like oh, he's an icon. He's perfectly rated.
When people talk about that dynasty,
people talk about center backs. He's rarely ever.
You know what I mean? So that's why for me, I would say Vidic. Like I personally loved him. He didn't have the finesse. He didn't have anything. He was just tough as nails, in your face, done. You know. So, Nemanja Vidic.
Okay.
Not Matic.
I can go with that. See, I was thinking about, there was two guys on my mind right now that I was trying to think of. I just trying to decide on who I want to say. I didn't like either of them, but they did their jobs very well, and they were always super annoying to play. Now I'm gonna end up choosing one. I'll tell you the other one because we have no more center backs, so it's kind of irrelevant. But I'm gonna go with Pepe. Portuguese Pepe. You know, he gets a lot of hate. He gets a lot of hate, first of all, because his face. Like, he's ugly. He's one of those guys, you look at him and you're like, wow, I want to punch this guy right in the head because I can't look at this guy. He has that face to him, 100%. But that guy was a bitch to play against. He was like a Chiellini. He would break your balls for 90 minutes and wouldn't allow you to do anything. And he would get under your skin and try to get you pissed off. He would get red cards, but he would try to get under your skin and just try to get you aggravated, so just to throw you off your game. And I mean, hey, fair play. I give it to him, man. Yeah. Like he did that. And he ruined he won a lot of games just by doing that because he got the fucking strikers off their game and they couldn't got into their head. Yeah. The other guy, side note, I was gonna say was Goldie. Never liked him, but I feel like he had like a very like solid career. Yeah. You know, helped Atletico. He scored goals. He's come clutch on corners. He's been phenomenal on defense. And I feel like he's just never really talked about in like a top center back conversation because I don't think he is, but I do think he's underrated. Like he should get some recognition.
Yeah, honestly, I would agree with Pepe.
My pick is Pepe.
I feel like Pepe a lot of the time like really flew on because if you look at again with him, like look at his partners. Yeah, Ricardo Carvalho was deemed like a Rolls Royce, you know, top of the line, whatever. Whereas Pepe was like the butcher. He did the ugly stuff nobody wanted to do. And when you said that, the first name that came to my mind that I was going to throw left back because he did have a brief stint there was Chiellini. Okay. Because I'm not going to lie to you. I think Italian defenders, Chiellini may be a top 3 of all time. Yeah. I will honestly look at you and say that.
I mean, I'm obviously biased, but like obviously I'm going to say that.
But I'm not too sure if I want to choose Chiellini. Okay. Because I already chose the Sanctus. I don't want people to say Italian bias.
I don't really think he's I wouldn't say he's underrated too, Chiellini.
He might be perfectly rated.
Recently, he's gotten a lot more recognition.
Yes, I feel like people,
especially after the Euro Cup too, like a lot more globally, people saw Chiellini and were like, "Hey, fuck!" Like everyone hated, all English fans hated him for that Saka thing, but they then realized, that was probably the smartest thing that anybody could have done.
When you hear him explain it, then that's when everybody turns and looks like, probably right. For me, left back. This is the thing. I think he's underrated just because of who he played alongside during that era. I would look at you, and for me, I'm going to say Eric Abidal. Okay. Because, yes, he did leave to go to Olympiacos, cancer, this, that, whatever. Yeah. Maybe that brings him up points because I know everyone started talking about Eric Abidal. But when he was playing on peak Barca, nobody spoke about him. No. He wasn't the fanciest when he attacked. He was just kind of like that no-nonsense guy. And for me, like, that's a good defender. No. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you can play defense, nobody gets by you, like, you're top of the line to me. You know, so, and that was also during the Dani Alves era. So, I mean, nobody really trumped Dani Alves. But I'm going to go
also very true.
Eric Abidal as my left back.
Okay.
Probably other names I could think of, but Eric Abidal. Yeah, Eric Abidal. Go, your turn.
Okay. Sorry. So I'm going to go, first center mid. I'm just going to get this one out of the way because after this, I'm not doing any more Italians or any. I'm not trying to do any more.
I'm
players
hoping you're going to say
Juve.
Oh,
but I, for me, one of the most underrated,
Marquisio.
Underappreciated, but the guy did everything and just did nothing at the same time. Didn't do anything didn't do anything in that game where you're like, holy fuck, holy shit, look at that. But he's doing everything in the background, and the reason everything's clicking.
It's Marquisio.
He does all the dirty work.
It's Marquisio then.
Sammy Marquisio.
Yeah, I agree though.
Like, I didn't want to go that route there, but like he had to be in this team, man. Like I feel like he's so underrated just because,
especially when you think about like Italian great midfielders, you don't necessarily we will think of him.
Yeah,
but a lot of people don't even consider him.
You know, you think of Gattuso, he was that bulldog. He was the one that winning the ball back. I would say
Gattuso's kind of underrated actually.
But I'm saying
he sucked.
But people will look at that and be like, oh, he was one of the best because he was a bulldog.
In your face,
Yeah. Pirlo, could ping a ball anywhere. He was elegant on the ball. Wasn't fast, but the guy he just glided on the field. People, you talk about Marquinhos, how people were like they got nothing to say. Like they're like, oh yeah, but what did he really do? He didn't score like the goals. At Juve at that time, Pogba and Vidal were scoring all the goals. Even Pirlo too. He wasn't really doing anything, but everything in that back, man, he was just such an amazing midfielder.
For me, I'd 100% agree with you. I love Marquinhos. I was gonna say I fucking love Marquinhos with everything in me. I feel like the overall picture with this team, what you will realize is what I'm realizing too, is all these players are good and maybe rated by some of you, but like it's because everyone around them got more of the credit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So like that's why like Marquinhos, obviously he's a great fucking player. People know that, but he didn't get credit. You had Pogba, Pirlo, and Vidal. Pogba got all the credit because he had the glitz and the glamour. Yeah. Pirlo was a maestro, a god of sorts. So Vidal was perfect in
everywhere on the field, scoring goals, like
So Marquinhos didn't necessarily get the credit he should be getting.
Yeah.
So for my pick,
the next center mid,
I think I'm gonna. I don't know if I want to put him in attack or the mid. I feel like I would want to put him in the mid because of his work ethic.
Okay.
I feel like you know who I'm going with after that line.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna choose for this role. He's gonna be more of an advanced midfielder. I'm going to go with Thomas Muller as like that attacking mid because, again, man, he sucks.
Yeah.
He has zero ball ability, but he's the smartest player. Yeah. He has the best longevity. He will always be relevant. Like you don't talk about how great he is because you had Lewandowski. You have Harry Kane right now. You had Mario Gomez, Luka, like all these crazy guys.
Robin and Ribéry.
And like he stood the test of time. He was always there. He was always putting up double digits. Like overall, through and through, underrated to the absolute max.
Huh?
Thomas Muller.
I mean, I couldn't agree more with that. Like you said, man, the guy's like he's not good in anything. He's not gonna deke out a full team, but probably in our generation, probably the football player with the highest IQ. Like I would say, like he is one of the smartest players, and just. He makes players around him play better. Like that's his thing. He's like he won't make himself be better.
Yeah.
He makes others play better and look better.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, that's a good show. I was thinking that, but I was like, I don't know if he's gonna throw him in here. I'm like, I don't know.
I was thinking about putting him in the attack as like a winger, but I'm like, realistically, a guy like Thomas Muller doesn't actually have a real position.
So he's like a cam. He's like a cam.
Yeah, like second striker, cam. Like I don't know.
Okay, so now we got the next midfielder, and this one. Taking some time to think about this one, but I definitely would say he got a lot of hype at the time, but I feel like it kind of people don't understand how good of a player he actually was, and just he can do it all, literally from the top of the field to pretty much goalie. Like maybe not goalie, but literally anything on the field. Never played for my team. Wish he did, but it's Rajan Angolan. He again another one of those midfielders that is just he got he got a little bit more notice and more praise I would say than Marquinhos because he has like those like
the goals
those couple like Pogba-esque goals where he's scoring like from 60 yards out a fucking volley and you're like but who thinks about never mind who scored how do you score that. Who thinks about taking a shot from there, like volleying it from 60 yards out? Yeah. Who does that? Him. And he would get them off and he would score. He was, man, oh my God. I hated him because he hated you and he was talk shit about them. But I always wanted him on my team.
He still does. Till this day, he will still throw a jab at you and say, 100%. I want to beat the best. I don't fucking care. 100%. It's kind of a backhanded compliment he'd give all the time.
Yeah. No, I know, but I'm saying he'd always like those things, whatever. So like I was like, okay, fuck this guy, but like I'm like fuck, sign this guy. Like I want him on my team.
Gonna make me cry over here. His dad's cutting onions upstairs.
I knew that one would get Joe. But
yeah, I agree.
That was my pick.
Right wing, I was thinking about this until you said Nainggolan, and then my mind just went 50 Shades of fucked up, and I couldn't think straight anymore.
Juan Iturbe.
Juan Manuel Iturbe. No. It's kind of on the line of no, it's not. I'm gonna go with my right wing, underrated. I don't know if I don't want to say this guy.
Why?
But I've always said how underrated he is because of like his finesse, his IQ, everything he does. Like he to me is actually a really perfect player. Mm-hmm. But I hate him with a dying passion right now. Pedro.
Yeah.
Lazio scum.
Fucking shout, man.
Lazio scum, but man, when you watch like that Barca, when it was I think it was David Villa, Messi, and Pedro.
Yeah.
Or Alexis Sanchez, whatever, but it was Pedro and Messi.
They had a bunch of them.
There was a reason why Pedro was always starting. Yeah. There was a reason why he was starting in that World Cup winning side. You know, like his IQ, bar none. Again, it's like another Thomas Muller. Mm-hmm. He wasn't fantastic at anything, but he had I don't know, man. Pedro was just. I hate that he's on Lazio now, and I hate that he talks shit about Roma. But I gotta call a spade, man. Like underrated baller, he's one of them top guys.
That's definitely a good show. That's a very, very, very good show.
Pedro as my right winger, or you could play him left because he did it all. Whatever side you don't want to, whatever side you want to use, just go fucking use.
Leave him on the right. I'll keep the striker open for you.
Damn, I don't know if I can think of a striker though.
Okay, I'm kidding. I can think of a striker too.
You could do whatever you want.
Want to do striker?
I'm kidding. Whatever you want to do, though. I'm cool.
Yeah, I'll leave you a striker. I'm going to do left wing. Now, he's not Italian.
Thank God.
But he did have a career at Juventus. Not a career. He had a couple of years at Juventus.
Di Maria.
No. Oh. He had a couple of years. And,
Nedved.
He got a little bit unlucky through his time. But when he was on his game, boy, I'll tell you, the guy was on his fucking game, man. That guy made everybody's life more difficult. And I don't care. Like, he was probably, like, one of the hardest guys to defend when he's attacking, when he's running right at you. Douglas Kostas.
Ooh. Yeah. That wasn't a name. That wasn't a name I was thinking.
You weren't even thinking about that.
Yeah?
I didn't want to go. I just feel like we've had so many guys that, okay, obviously he played a couple of years at Juve. He played a lot of his time at Shakhtar and Bayern.
Yeah.
That was where his career was. And even those times there, the guy was fucking disgusting, but he was still he wasn't even the best player. Okay, Shakhtar, there was, that's where he kind of got noticed. But on Bayern, he was doing phenomenal there.
He was also he was like a second stringer too.
That's what I mean. Still playing with Robin. It's hard to be, to be noticed and to no matter what you do, you dig out the whole team. You take a shot from 30 yards out, go top corner.
That's not a name I thought you were gonna say. Wow.
Right. Right? Even the last one, also I can think of another Juve player, but I'm with fuck.
No, striker, I feel like this is might be deemed underrated, might not be. I don't know, but I think he's underrated because people didn't give a hoot for him, and he didn't really play on any of the biggest teams per se, except for 1 year. But that 1 year, he really did make the most of it. I would say Luca Toni.
I was actually thinking about that.
Luca Toni, he didn't play on top teams. Barring, he played on Roma for a brief stint and Juve for a brief stint.
Bayern Munich.
But that's what I said. Bayern Munich is probably the pinnacle, whatever.
Yeah.
But he still made the most of that.
Oh, yeah.
He scored, I think it was 34 goals in 38 games. He's an underrated player because nobody talks about him. Because, again, one of those guys that were weird players.
Yeah.
Almost retired at the age of 28 because they said he sucked. And then fast forward a couple years later, wins a World Cup, goes to Bayern Munich and is their leading goal scorer. Fiorentina, Palermo, not crazy teams at all.
No.
So for me, last one, I'm going to say Luca Toni. Then underrated coach, Mauricio Pochettino. No, fuck that guy. Said no to Roma that time.
But hey, you know what? Compared to our other teams, I don't think it's our best one. But honestly, it's up there, man.
Yeah.
I think it was either last week or the week before was probably one of our best teams that we built.
No, 2 weeks ago, I'm pretty sure it was the left backs.
The left backs.
Or right
that was
backs,
a good
whatever.
team.
Yeah.
That was a good team,
yes.
man. Even the one last week with the World Cup winners, the guys that haven't won
the failed World Cup winners.
Like, man, also another solid fucking team. Like, I don't know if this one can compete, but I don't know if it takes.
This would compete underratedly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like everyone's like, nah, this team ends up winning to win. But essentially,
So we've created our dark horse now. Now next week we gotta think of something else.
Oh, I already have it.
Okay, even better. These things here, honestly, probably my favorite thing to do on each episode.
These are fun segments.
These are honestly and this one here was actually fun to think about because I genuinely didn't really have anybody planned in my head.
You know what it is? It's because we always talk about like you see on TikTok, Instagram, or anything like that. Oh, streets don't forget.
Yeah.
This is the thing. First off, the streets will never forget because once a week I see something about it, so I'm not gonna forget. Second off, stop blowing up mediocre players that had one good season.
Yeah.
Michu is fucking shit. He was never good. Don't blow him up. Borja Iglesias is 10 times the player Michu ever was. But you guys don't talk about him. Adel Tarap, he had dancing shoes. He was fantastic, this and that.
Can dribble the ball very well.
But again, Douglas Costa did it better.
Yeah.
And with speed. And had better longevity. And you had to do other things. So it's like those are players that are actually like I would look at and say, yeah, the streets won't forget. Because like
Is that my fax machine? Oh no, that's just Joe spinning fucking fax
right now. Holy. I thought Al got his house broken into.
No, I thought my fax machine was going off, man. It's just fucking Joe right next to me, man. This guy's on fucking. Might as well end things right over here, man. Joe's getting a little bit too heated. Don't Ramos down, man. Don't abuse him. He just wants to chill. He's just here for vibes. Him and Klopp are here for just vibes.
So on that note, guys.
If you guys haven't already, I'll take over from Joe now. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at UltraXI. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Sorry, I got a little itch beside my eye. And subscribe to that. Don't forget to check out any podcast platform because we're on all of them. So check it out there. Press the little notification button so you get notified because this week you guys are getting notified twice. You got an episode coming out tomorrow and on Wednesday. So you guys are getting a double header.
On
to say sorry and thank you to everybody. So on that note, guys, we'll hear you next week. We'll see you next week. Ciao.
Later.
And that's why I played soccer.